At Truist, we understand if we build our communities, we build our bank. And home ownership is a key component of building out communities. And the Housing Fund is a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution, which allows us to be more creative in the financial instruments it can provide to underserved populations.
Since the inception of the Housing Fund, we've always seen our role as trying to step in where there's gaps and to try to find creative solutions to leverage resources, private and public resources. I would say in the years that I've been on the board, the gaps have only gotten greater, so it's challenging.
We are one of the fastest growing metropolitan complexes in America, and there is risk. There's risk of losing your home to gentrification. There's risk of not participating if you're a part of the poor or marginalized populations in Nashville.
We're in a great market, but we're in a market that's higher than most people can afford. So it's almost as though in this city, you can't have a conversation about affordable housing without the Housing Fund being involved.
The Nashville Housing Fund was actually an outgrowth of Nashville's agenda. And that was sort of a community-wide priority setting process that started in the mid-1990s. And out of that came 21 goals for the 21st century. One of those 21 goals centered around the availability of affordable housing.
This unique idea to help provide quality housing for families here was just something that was unheard of.
And because it was really a long-term projection of what would the whole 21st century need, we're looking for something that was flexible, self-renewing, and could really adapt to changing needs over a century.
We started acquiring land in 1999 in this neighborhood, and our vision has all along been centered around the word neighborhood. We talk often in our office about how important that word is and how meaningful. As opposed to a project or development, we strove to deliver a neighborhood.
After the first few years, we realized that it would be really beneficial for the Housing Fund to actually be a Community Development Financial Institution, or CDFI. At the time, the Gulch was really just what Mayor Purcell later called the unnamed interstate from downtown Nashville out to the suburbs. A developer had been named, Market Street Equities, and they were just starting their very first project. And we decided to apply for a special round of tax credits and found this interesting property called Patrick Electric and decided that rather than tear that down, that we wanted a sense of place. We came up out of that with Laurel House.
It's a mixed-use project that has commercial, retail, office, and affordable housing all built into one. And it blends into the neighborhood beautifully, and it was an adaptive reuse of a historic, if you call that, a warehouse building.
I think it was a game changer in this part of Nashville because it brought affordable housing into the city, into an area that we knew was really going to become vibrant, and Laurel House was one of the first things that made it here.
I know it sounds like a cliche, but you just need to look around here where we're standing today and remember that the Laurel House was an early example of trying to do the right thing at the right time to provide that safety net for people.
After the housing meltdown of 2007, 2008, we thought that the worst possible thing was behind us, but no. And so on May 1st, May 2nd, we got 2 1,000-year floods 2 days in a row. There's an interesting rule in the CDFI regulations that allowed us to serve a whole area so long as 51% were low and moderate income. And that allowed us to actually administer and provide funds for people who were literally underwater.
That was a great example of us bending over backwards to help people to be able to stay on their home they grew up with. Because for some people, just spending $2,000, $3,000 on repairs can mean the difference between living in a house and having to abandon it. So I'm very proud of all the multifaceted work the fund has done over the years, not only to help people stay on their homes, but to create new opportunities for people to live in the city.
I think it's a tough business because it's a complex problem. Maintaining, preserving affordable housing in a growing city where values are increasing, where you do have population growth, where you have job growth in and around the core, it creates an environment that people want to be in, but it also displaces families, homeowners who have been here, and it's hard to maintain that.
My name is Michael Frazee. I've been on the Housing Fund Board for roughly 14 years now. The importance of my role on this board starts with who I am as a person, and I think who this organization is culturally, and that is an outwardly facing heart posture of serving others. We've been around for 30 years. We've deployed over $150 million in serving over 8,200 residents in affordable housing, both on the consumer and the commercial side. There are several organizations that serve the neighborhoods that the Housing Fund serves, and where we enjoy being a leader in serving those neighborhoods, we invite all those organizations to unify with us to deliver more housing and more services to make them better.
Be a Helping Hand provides affordable housing to families at 80% of AMI or below. Most of our projects are grant funded, and we have to have initial capital into our project development costs in order to get moving for acquisition or to do construction. And without the Housing Fund, it would not be possible. They have come in where others have said, hey, we would love to come in on the back end of your project and put financing to close out the deal, but we need that capital in the beginning.
The Housing Fund is a good partner because they provide a critical role in Nashville's community.
With over $60 million in total assets, we've been able to provide over $43 million in consumer lending. That's to support our down payment assistance programs, our shared equity, and home improvement loans. We've also been able to provide over $106 million in development lending to developers committed to affordable housing. That's $148 million in lending over 30 years, a commitment to ensure that low to moderate income individuals and communities are able to achieve affordable housing. But we couldn't do this without our strategic partnerships, especially with local municipalities like the City of Nashville, who we partnered around our community land trust, and through Barnes Resources to help with asset protection. But we also have corporate partnerships like with Amazon, who have provided us with millions of dollars to provide to low to moderate income individuals around property tax relief and supporting our shared equity in the creation of affordable housing. None of this would be possible without our investing partners. They provide us with the capital that we need as a community development financial institution to have great impact, not only in Middle Tennessee, but out the entire state of Tennessee.
If you can't afford a home, then you're missing out on the big part of what being an American is and having a asset that can appreciate with you. And a cause like the Housing Fund is a great cause, because in a market like Nashville, where the cost of housing is very high and it requires some special tools to really make sure everybody has an equal opportunity to be a homeowner.
We are committed to being good stewards of resources and providing those resources directly to individuals and communities to ensure that low to moderate income individuals have a safe and an affordable place to live. We could never do this without any of them, let alone do this for 30 years. Thank you.